Andrew, kick us off.
Philippe, another big game tomorrow. Can you just get your thoughts on what sort of challenge you're expecting at Tynecastle?
Yeah, big one. Of course, we beat them now in 2 games. A little bit special. It's my 11th game for the club and the 3rd time against the same opponent. But we had to be 2 times on our toes to have a really good level to beat them. It's a good team, good organization, good attacking players. They are super motivated also. What I hear, what I read about this game to beat us, and yeah, it's going to be a big challenge for us.
I suppose that's one of the quirks of Scottish football, that you come up against some of the teams quite a lot. Does that add an extra element to it, maybe more of a mind games to it in terms of how to approach each game against the same opponents?
Yeah, mind game. It's always like that. You always try to have an idea what the game will be about, how opponents will play their game. So it's in every league the same. For me, it's not a big difference if it's several times against the same team, because long time ago when there were no videos, it was different because you didn't see each other that much. Now you have every detail, you can see every game, so it's not a big difference.
What were the biggest positives you saw at the weekend, and how do you build on those going into the game tomorrow night?
I think a big positive was that we had 90 minutes control of the game. We almost didn't give away anything, just 2 shots from distance, but 2 good shots and 2 good saves, but that you cannot avoid, of course. And for the rest, that our second half was really good, with a lot of good movement and speed and ball tempo, and several good chances, and 2 really good goals that we scored in that game. So it's not easy to break open these walls that teams put, with a line of 5 and a line of 4 in front of that, and then to find space to get really good chances, and the team did really well for sure in the second half.
How's the squad looking injury-wise heading into this one?
Not big difference, I hope, for the weekend. Of course, it's afternoon training, so because we have the AGM today, so I will hear more when the players come in. It's just 2 days after the game, but yesterday it seemed okay. Nothing really special. A few knocks, a few bumps. I hope no big things this afternoon.
You said at the weekend that Nico would be assessed. Has he been assessed yet?
Yes, that it will be a little bit longer than we hoped for. Everybody in the club. So it will take a little bit more time to be fit. Everybody's working really hard with him, from the medical staff in the club, and they're doing their maximum. But sometimes these things happen.
Is it just a different type of rehab you'll have to do now?
No, a little bit adaptation in the things he was doing already.
Can I ask you about Kieran Dowell? What's his situation at the club?
That Kieran is training hard and doing his maximum every day. So we have a lot of players, and for sure in the position that he's playing, there's a lot of competition there.
He still has a future at the club?
Everybody has always a future in the club, as long as he's in the club. So yes, for sure.
Can you give a time scale on Nico, please?
No, first I'm not a doctor, and we need to adapt now his exercises, so we wanted to make steps with him. It didn't follow in the way we expected, so we need to adapt and see with the new exercises how it will go.
You said, from what you're hearing, Hibs are super motivated. Where are you hearing this
Hearts, I hope.
Sorry,
Yeah. I'm happy that I analyzed the right game. Yeah, you were testing me, I see it.
Yeah, you're saying that Hearts are super motivated. Where are you hearing this from?
I don't read everything, but people tell me a lot of things, so.
Right.
So it was clear, the things they put in the press.
And you're going to face a rather informed team. That's 4 league wins in a row.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure, and it's a good team, with also a coach with a history with Rangers, so he's also extra motivated in that way. So we know it's a big challenge to go there. We know.
Philippe, you spoke after the Aberdeen game away from home about the start of the game and maybe speaking with the team after. You said they dominated you, I think, from about about 50 minutes. Will the start of the game at your next away game, Tynecastle, be something that you're giving extra attention to ahead of tomorrow?
I give attention every time to that, to be honest. And yeah, it's not every time that you can score fast. We had, for example, our game in Dundee, where we scored really fast, and it opened up the game. Of course, if you have teams who the first thought are from the other teams to stop us, and you can break that by scoring first, they need to come also, and that creates space afterwards. So it's every time a point of attention from my side. Nothing new there or nothing special. That's a fine, I think.
Philippe, you mentioned the other day about kind of you're always learning. You've only been here for a few weeks. Hearts away, is that one of the games where you'll learn a lot? Same as maybe Aberdeen away and the bigger teams on their own ground?
I hope to learn as less as possible. Was the same thing before Dundee, that everybody said that's going to be. It was the first away game in the league. So no, it's interesting. I'm not going to learn anything about Hearts away. I know what it is. I've seen the games. I've seen the footage. I've seen the videos. So not learning anything about that. But I'm learning to get to know my players better and better. And that's really important. And in that way, Todd was also a really good example this week. We had really good talks this week, and I get to know the player again better, like other players. So that's important now. That's going to be also a very important thing when we go in training camp in January, where I always take the time to do individual talks with all the players. So it's going to be hard work there in training, and in the evenings it's going to be a lot of talks with the staff together with the players individual to really get to know them. So we're still in, now 6 weeks, I think, here. A lot of things happened already with all the games, all the trainings, all the talks, getting people in, like director of performance, director of recruitment, all these things was also aside all the things that happened around the games. So it's been a busy period, but I get to know the club and the players better and better.
And are you looking to reshape the squad as well? You also got the January transfer window coming in. That's all part of that process as well, is that?
Yeah, of course, like in every team. But of course, reshaping it in January is much more difficult than reshaping it in the summer. That's also reality in football for every club. So I'm realistic about that.
But you do see yourself doing some business in January?
Yeah, that's the idea, to do some things, but it will not be a lot of things. It needs to be the right things.
And in terms of outgoings, have you had any conversations yet with players?
No, because first we need to make a good assessment about that. It's not good, it's not fair, it's not honest to do it in 6 weeks. It's really short term that we have to make decisions around that. So until January, and even in January, players have the time to prove themselves that they are the right man for the club or the right man for the position. So it's an open battle in that way to show themselves.
You said after the Aris game you had a conversation with Todd, you then played him at 10 at the weekend. Can we see Todd playing consistently in that position now? If selected, obviously.
No, I don't think that is the right thing to say. If he's performing like he performed in the weekend, he will play there more regularly. But it all has to do with performances. But it can be also that he needs to play in moments on the right side, because the team needs that if we have injuries and not enough available players there. That's part of football. And it's not something specially for Todd. Tom Lawrence played also another position than he always played. And he did the job for the team. And if everybody does that, then we're stronger. But Todd is ready for that. We had really good talks around that.
I think a lot of fans and maybe your bosses as well are quite encouraged by the start that you've made, which is nice as you're about to go into your first Rangers AGM.
It's always nicer in that way than in another way, but I'm not too much busy about that. It's not about me. It's about this club. It's about this this team, the history. I want to bring trophies back here for the club. at the end of my career, I will not count if I won 6 titles or 10 titles or 8 titles will not be so important. I love to do things with people together and that to give people pleasure, to give people fun. I love this job when we win games and I see afterwards people being happy in the stands, players being happy and players who evolve, become better, make transfers to better teams, being proud about that, getting the best out of them. Working together with staff members in a good way every day to have a really good dynamic in the club. Those are the fuel for me to do this job, not how many things for myself. I've never been like that, not as a player and not as a manager.
Though there is a big demand here to win trophies, the fans will be counting how many trophies you win, even if you're not.
No, but don't take me wrong. I want to win a lot of trophies. If I do something, I want to win. You were asked also the questions a few weeks ago about European game and the cup. If I make choices, I will not make choices. I want to win both.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.